Good afternoon, everybody. This is Susan Schlag, licensed marriage and family therapist.
And Julie Payne, licensed marriage and family therapist.
And we are the co-owners at Peninsula Center for Children and Families. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And we're going to be doing a presentation on using videos for social media marketing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the share screen so you guys can see the PowerPoint and not our beautiful faces. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, why should you be using videos and social media for marketing? So here's some interesting facts that we were able to look up regarding research on videos and social media marketing for businesses. So research has shown that when people hear information, they're likely to remember only 10% of that information. So if it's like a radio spot without a visual. However, if a relevant image is paired with that same information, people retain 65% of the information 3 days later. So that's a huge jump.
So marketers who use video grow their revenue by 49% faster than ones that actually don't use the video.
90% of all marketers indicated that their social media efforts have generated more exposure for their businesses. So I don't know about everyone else, but we're definitely open to that as we're a fairly new practice, just under a year open. So we are definitely wanting to increase our exposure and build referrals.
And more than half of marketers who've been using social media for at least 2 years reported helped them improve sales. So again, getting the message out there that you're in business, that you're accepting clients, that you have something to offer, and pairing that with the video just makes that exposure so much better.
So just some brief information on definitions. So social media marketing. So that's the process of gaining website traffic or attention through social media sites. Social media marketing programs usually centers on efforts to create content that attracts attention and encourages readers to share it across their social networks. So that's kind of the big idea, is not only do you want to post something that's interesting to people who follow you, but something that's interesting enough that they want to share with other people too. So the sharing then just becomes exponential.
So video marketing is a new type of internet marketing and advertising where businesses create a short 2 to 5 minute video about specific topics using content from articles or other tech sources or even just knowledge that you know. And then the videos are uploaded and shared to various websites like YouTube or Facebook to distribute that exposure.
All right, so let's practice. We're going to do a couple exercises here that are going to help you get used to videoing yourself. So I know when Julie and I first started doing this, we kind of got our interest sparked by a workshop that we went to at the State Camped Conference earlier this year. And so big shout out to the presenter at that workshop, Ernesto Segismundo. He happens to be local here in Southern California, so we're fortunate enough to have him as a resource. He also has a video marketing just for therapist business, besides being a practice owner and a therapist himself. So he's a very good resource and has a broad range of experience in this type of stuff. But he had a very dynamic workshop, and it just really kind of sparked our creativity, and we kind of threw our fear to the side and went, we're going to do this. So if we can do it, I promise you, everyone can do it, and it gets easier and easier the more that you do it. So the first exercise is just to take out your smartphone,
right here,
and you're going to look at where the camera lens is on your smartphone. So it's right there. Sorry, you get to see my cute Frenchie on my screensaver. Right there. So that's where you want to look. So if you've ever noticed when you take a selfie, and it looks like you're looking off to the side, it's because you're looking at the picture of yourself on the screen rather than looking at the actual camera lens. So that's why that happens. And I say it like that because I had no idea. So
no.
So if you already knew that, you're way ahead of me. So in case you don't know, make sure you're looking at that camera lens. So you're talking to your audience. You're looking at the camera. So I want you to just take out your phone. You want to hold it in horizontal position because otherwise it doesn't get formatted correctly to share onto social media sites. I believe on Instagram you can still do it vertical, but for Facebook, which is the media we chose, horizontal is the way to go. Otherwise your video is sideways like that. So it's really hard to watch.
There's also, I'm sure you've seen videos where when you're looking at it, it's a tiny little box, and when you try to turn it, it doesn't get much bigger. So if you do it sideways, it gets the full screen. So they get a full picture of whatever you're doing.
Yep. So I want you to just put your camera, your iPhone in video mode, and I want you to just practice looking at the camera lens and record yourself for just 30 seconds. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. Just sit and practice looking into the camera lens. All right, so that should have been about 30 seconds, maybe more like 40 for everybody. So just take a minute to think to yourself, how did that feel? Did that feel difficult? Was it uncomfortable? Was it anxiety provoking? It probably, I know when I did it the first time, it felt really awkward. Like, okay, I'm just like sitting here not doing anything, and I can kind of, even though I'm trying to look at the lens, I can still see my face staring back at me. So it feels a little strange. But practice that more and more, and it gets more comfortable, and then you don't notice as much. I know later on in the presentation we have some tips, but I know one of the things Julie reminded me of is if you do get uncomfortable, seeing your face staring back, because you're doing it in selfie mode, so it's a picture of you looking back at your face, you put a Post-it note or a card over. Yeah, so all you see is you can just look at the lens. You don't see yourself actually looking back at you.
Yeah. It makes it much easier.
Yeah, so that can be really, and you can kind of get distracted too, because then you're worried about, oh, does my hair look right? Does my mouth look funny when I'm talking? Is one eye closed and one's open? You know, you start getting nitpicky about how you look.
And you are more critical than anybody else watching the video. So keep that in mind too.
Yeah, so I know in our introduction blurb for kind of advertising for this presentation, we talked about kind of quieting your inner critic. So that's the first way you can quiet your inner critic, is just put a Post-it note over it, and then you can't see yourself. So the inner critic has nothing to say but, look, oh, I wish that was a purple Post-it note instead of a blue one or whatever. But can't say anything about you. So moving on, let's go to our next slide, and we have some examples of some intro videos. So when we started using the videos on our Facebook business page here at Peninsula Center for Children and Families, we had all of our therapists, including Julie and myself, do an introductory video of themselves for the first week. And what we focused on is something we learned in the workshop we went to. We introduce ourselves a little bit. We talk about the type of clients we like to work with. What are some of the strengths of those clients who we work with, and maybe just a little bit more of like how we practice and what kind of techniques we like to use with our clients in our practice. So I'm going to go ahead and play Julie's video and take a look.
Hi, my name is Julie Payne, and I'm a marriage and family therapist with Peninsula Center for Children and Families. I enjoy working with people who have experienced chronic pain or dealing with a chronic illness, and trying to figure out how to manage life and all the daily tasks, as well as their illness and in relation to their family, parenting, relationships, just kind of struggling through what it takes when you're diagnosed with an illness. There's a lot that's involved and a lot that people don't understand. And so I enjoy working with clients to help them manage their diagnosis and then manage how to live the life that they want to live and not be taken over by the illness that they're struggling with. I also enjoy working with children and families that are struggling with interacting with each other, with just different daily struggles, teenagers who are struggling in their high school life, with their peer relationships, and helping them manage and work through by providing coping skills and different ways to handle the stressors that they face. You can learn about more of me and my fellow therapists at www.peninsulafamilies.com.
All right, so you can see short and sweet. And I just want to point out a few things that I really like about Julie's video. I like the environment that she chose to video in. So there's some nice green and flowering plants around her.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And also, she did not forget to mention the website.
That is really important.
Yeah, so that's one of the critical items for video marketing is you always want to direct people to your website. And on that note, you want to make sure your website is up to date and current too, because if you're pointing them there, you want it to be useful and helpful.
But I also want to point out that that video is not perfect. I was not polished. I had some pauses. I was thinking about what I was going to say. And it's completely okay. You don't have to have this award-winning video. Be who you are. Be real. And just get out there and do it. And you'll see as we kind of do some of our video examples how we've progressed just in the short time from that intro video to where we're at now.
Yeah. So this is, just so you know, this was in late May of this year. So just a few months ago we started doing this. So these were our very first ones, other than if you go to our Facebook page, we had a brief shout out at the conference that, hey, we just did this marketing workshop and we're super excited and you're going to see a lot more of our faces, so get used to us. So now I'll go ahead and show you my introductory video from that same week at the end of May.
Hi, Susan Schlag, licensed marriage and family therapist and co-owner of Peninsula Center for Children and Families. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the types of clients I really enjoy working with. I am really passionate about working with children, individuals and families who've been impacted by trauma. I find that people who've experienced trauma in their lives tend to be really resilient people. You know that old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, the people I've encountered in my life who've experienced trauma are the strongest people that I know. Now, sometimes people with trauma have a whole wide array of inner strengths that they may not even be aware of. I like to help them find those inner strengths within themselves and bring them to the surface so they can really use those to empower themselves to manage the triggers and the feelings and the thoughts that come up for them throughout the day. Now, one of the skills that I like to teach my clients is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of just being focused on the present and the here and now as it happens. When you practice mindfulness every day, it really helps you feel more centered and grounded. It helps you feel more in control of any anxiety you're feeling and any depressive feelings that you have, and just helps you overall be able to experience your life as it happens. If you'd like to know more about me or my amazing colleagues at Peninsula Center for Children and Families, please visit us at www.peninsulafamilies.com.
So as you can see from Susan's video, again, these are our very first videos other than what we did at the conference. I mean, it was really good. We both had greenery in the background, kind of outdoors, but she really went in depth of what mindfulness is, kind of what her practice is, which has really led into your weekly video series. So it's nice that it ties back into it, but she really went in depth with working with the clients, and I think it was very informative to post out on our site.
Thank you. And I will say it was a little bit uncomfortable watching it back again. So I will just share that doesn't ever really fully go away. But I will say too, just like Julie mentioned, reminding myself this was the very first video that I posted, and you will see as we show you some more videos as we go along that we've progressed quite a bit since we started then. So like the shakiness on my video is driving me crazy now. So I've definitely gotten a lot better at that. So we'll keep going though.
So you want to think about who your audience is. The video can be for clients, it can be for fellow therapists, it can be for the general public. It can be for all of them. So think about that when you're posting what you're going to talk about, who you're aiming to reach.
So also keep in mind the audience you are targeting with the video. So as you're doing your video, like what I kind of keep in my mind is I want to present like I'm talking to that person. So it may be 100 people that watch the video, but I want them to feel like I'm talking to each one of them as they're watching the video.
So in having themes can help with ideas, create followers, and provide helpful information and market your skill set. So just like Susan's intro video talked about mindfulness, so she does a Mindful Monday video. So we each have a video and kind of a segment that we do every week, which just helps us with our practice and then helps us individually. But so Susan has Mindful Mondays. And the beautiful thing about that is we were actually talking about it earlier. I send a lot of my clients to watch her videos, and if she sends her clients to watch her videos, so they can be very, very helpful. And then we have family that follow us and friends that follow us that also find it helpful.
Yeah, we also have colleagues in the field that I got a text message the other day from a grad school cohort who said, hey, I've been watching your videos and I was really trying to figure out a new way to help myself relax, and I'm really loving your videos. And that felt awesome to hear that, especially from a colleague who's also in the field. So also along the lines of having themes, so what we decided to do here at Peninsula Center for Children and Families was we have 6 therapists currently, including Julie and myself, and so we each picked a day of the week that we were going to post a video, and we created themes for each of those days. So every week, each of us is submitting one video to put on the website. So we have Mindful Mondays, which is mine. We have Creative Tip Tuesdays, which is one of our other therapists too, and she happens to be an expressive arts therapist, so it fits with her specialty. We have Wine Not, W-H-I-N-E, Wednesdays, and that's with our therapist Jackie. And she takes a very positive approach very solution-focused and positive psychology approach to work with her clients, so it very much fits with her skill set. And then, of course, on Thursdays, we have Thankful Thursdays, and Julie gives tips on how to create more gratitude in your life and creating opportunities for gratefulness to kind of just recognize those things that are going well. And on Fridays, we have Lupita, who does Fun Fact Fridays, and she is very research-oriented, so she does a lot of presentations based on research on different diagnoses. She's done a whole series on depression
and anxiety.
She's doing, she started this week, the one that just posted today because it's Friday, on what local area colleges and universities are doing as far as mental health programs on their campuses. So it's very relevant information to anyone who's local to our practice. So that being said, we'll move right along. Oh, I forgot I highlighted this. That's very fancy. So now we're going to give you a couple examples of some of our themed videos. So first you get one of my Mindful Monday videos, and this happens to be one of my most viewed, so that's why I picked it. But I think it's mostly because it has my cute Frenchie in it. So take a look.
Hello all, Susan Schlag, licensed marriage and family therapist at Peninsula Center for Children and Families. And this is Jackson. He's going to help me out with my Mindful Monday video today. So today I'm going to be talking to you about what pets can teach us about mindfulness. So first of all, little Jackson here and other dogs like Jackson are very present-centered, and they live in the moment every single day, every minute. They also have a natural sense of joyfulness. He plays when he wants to play. He takes a nap when he wants to take a nap. And when he he's hungry, he'll let you know so you know to feed him. Also, dogs don't hold grudges, so no matter what kind of day their humans are having, they're happy to see you whenever they can be around you. They have an acute sense of awareness, so oftentimes dogs will sense danger and natural disasters, sometimes even before they happen. And also, pets just have the ability to enrich our lives as humans. So I'm going to do a mindfulness practice with Jackson today. So as I'm doing my mindful breathing, I'm going to use my sense of touch or tactile senses, and I'm going to be petting Jackson and massaging his ears as I'm deep breathing. Let's go ahead and get started. So as your sense of calm increases, so does your pet's. Because one more thing that dogs are really good at are being in tune with their humans' emotions. So I hope you enjoyed this Mindful Monday video. If you'd like to know more about myself or my colleagues at Peninsula Center for Children and Families, please go to our website, peninsulafamilies.com.
As you can see on that video, that's a pretty big difference from the first intro video. The video is much more still. She actually has a fancy little tripod for it. But it was still very informative. It's outdoors. And she brought in her dog, which was a big hit with the video. How could he not be? He's adorable. And she introduced herself at the beginning of the video, and then at the end talked about the website. So both of those are very important when you're doing videos to make sure that people can go to your website after they watch your video, so they can get more information about what you're posting about or your practice.
All right. And you can see I started using iMovie to add some little details. So there's like a title at the beginning with my name, and then there's the ticker across the bottom at the end with the website information. So we're kind of like slowly incorporating new things as we learn more and get better at it. So I have another one here, which is one of our other therapists, Sue, and this is one of her Creative Tip Tuesday videos.
Hey everybody, I'm Sue Gauthier-Pinn. I am a marriage and family therapist intern and expressive arts therapist at the Peninsula Center for Children and Families. Today I want to talk to you about the power of puppets. I love using puppets in my work as an expressive arts therapist. You might think that I only use these with kids, but that's not true. I use them with everybody: kids, families, couples, individuals, and groups. What I love about these guys, they're so cute, but what I love about them is that they give the client agency to show up just as they are. It allows for self-expression that folks might not usually say or do. So in the session, the client might have the puppet say something that's shocking, or they might get into trouble in the playroom. Or maybe the queen is acting real mischievous and being sassy, and that's not necessarily how the client would ever present in real life. So what's happening is that by playing with the puppets, it's allowing all of our parts to show up and to be healed. So that's my favorite part of puppets. Another thing that I love about using puppets is that we can rehearse for life. It's like having a dress rehearsal. So let's say you want to have a hard conversation with someone and you aren't sure how to do it. Maybe the unicorn and the gnome can figure it out. And it's less scary and less anxiety producing because these are just puppets messing around. So it takes the pressure off of having to do things right, and instead just helps us to rehearse and get feedback and try it again and adjust it until we feel comfortable with what it is that we are trying to do outside of a therapy session. So if you would like to know more about expressive arts therapy or come play with my puppets. You can check out my services and what I offer on our website, www.peninsulafamilies.com. We'll see you later. Happy Tuesday. Bye.
I hope that video made you guys smile, because even now it's one of my favorite videos, and it amuses me, and it's very informative.
And if you knew Sue, like we know Sue, it very much shows her personality and her style. So that's very much what you get in session if you're a client with her. So she's very much speaking to someone who would come in and want to meet with her and on a weekly basis have a therapy session with her. So it's very, very good for the target audience. All right, so one more tip on some of the themes we picked. So this is a video that Julie did right after Hurricane Harvey. So I know we have several clinics, including one that Julie co-owns in Houston, that were hugely affected by this. Families were affected, our colleagues there were affected, and just the community in general. And so Julie decided to have her Thankful Thursday be centered around the events of Hurricane Harvey and kind of the aftermath and the devastation. So let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Julie Payne, licensed marriage and family therapist with Peninsula Center for Children and Families. And I'm back for more Thankful Thursday. This week's a little bit different. I know a lot of you are aware of Hurricane Harvey and the devastation it's caused in Houston. We have several CCF locations actually in Houston. One of them I worked at in Houston that was right in the middle of where all the flooding happened. So several of my clients out there and fellow therapists and colleagues have been directly impacted by this flooding. I have also seen so many people come out to offer services for volunteering, donations, donating money, donating time, donating items. It's incredible to see humanity at its best. People coming out and volunteering their time and helping out one another through this crisis. And I've even seen it here in Southern California. Several moms have come together and made some amazing donations to send out to Houston to help in the relief. People have donated a bunch of time, driven up to Operation Gratitude to drop off donations, and if several people in this area want to donate and want to help out there. So with this video, I'm actually going to be posting one of our therapists that was directly impacted by the flooding and the hurricane, and she's a therapist out at our sister location at South Shore Center for Couples and Families. And so that information's on there if you'd like to donate to her directly. There's some great other charities out there that you can donate to that are going directly to everybody that's been impacted. No amount is too small. If you can't donate money or can't donate items, you can always donate your time, go help sort out things that are being donated, reach out, find where to donate, and please help them out, because it is absolutely devastating what's happened there. We're going to feel it across the country, the amount that it's impacted everybody. So for this Thankful Thursday, I want to think about, through all this tragedy that's happened, the just amazing people that have offered help and support and gone out there and rescued people. It is so grateful to see that people have offered that kind of support to help their fellow man. And so keep that in mind on this Thankful Thursday. And if you want to help out, please click on this link. And you can always go to our website for more information at www.peninsulafamilies.com. Thank you.
All right, so you can see how current events can be impactful and can be helpful in creating your videos. And it was something that was very near and dear to Julie, and something that has, like she said, impacted the entire country. So it was relatable to everyone. On a side note, I wanted to mention that she's actually videoing this as we are right now for this presentation in our actual office. So that's another great tip for your videos is posting videos in your actual office site. So when you do get new clients who come in, if they've seen your videos beforehand, the place looks familiar and it feels comfortable already because they've already seen it on your video.
They already know what to expect.
All right.
So some tips for recording the videos. So think about what you want to say ahead of time, but it's good advice to not write it down. You don't want to be reading off a piece of paper when you're talking. If you've noticed in the videos that we've shared with you, we're looking directly at the camera. Nobody's looking down and reading anything. You want to make contact with your viewer. So just think about what you want to talk about and then dive right in and start recording.
Okay. Hold on. I think I messed that up when I moved that.
Oh, you got to click back. There we go.
Okay. Videos should be 2 to 3 minutes max. So occasionally we go a little bit over that. But most people, and you do get feedback when you start posting this to your Facebook business page. We get like a weekly email that shows kind of the insights from the video postings and like how many clicks you had on your page, how many new likes you had that week. And you can actually look at each video and see how long on average people viewed it. For the most part, it's about 10 to 15 seconds on average. So we do know from feedback from people we know personally that some people do watch the entire video, but a lot of people just click on it for a few seconds and go, oh, okay, and move on to whatever else they're wanting to look at. So if you're spending all your time making these fabulous 10-minute videos that are content-packed and super informative, they'll look great, but no one will watch the whole thing. So keep that in mind.
So, and again, when using your iPhone camera or your just phone camera in general, make sure it's horizontal, okay? I know we always naturally go to kind of the portrait mode, but the videos just don't come out as well. So make sure it's horizontal. You can also use your computer camera. If you have a video camera, you can use that. But again, you want these to be easy, uploadable, and fairly short.
So look directly at the camera. So we did that exercise earlier in the presentation, giving you that practice doing that. If you find it distracting, so again, like we said before, you can cover it with some paper or Post-it note if you don't want to be staring at yourself. And if you're using your phone, so again, make sure to turn it sideways. So it's very important. We put it in there a couple times.
Very important. So, and unless you really mess up, use your first take. What we have found is when you take multiple takes, then you just seem so robotic because it's almost like rehearsed. You've read it, you know what's happening. It doesn't seem natural or genuine. So, nobody's going to, post on there, oh, you messed up your words. Make a pause, think about what you're going to say, but just go with your first take. It's usually the best take.
Absolutely. All right, so some more tips for recording. Make sure you mention who you are, your clinic name, and your website throughout the video. So you notice in all the examples we've given you, we usually introduce ourselves. We say our name, what our title or position is in our practice. We mention our clinic name, and then we also, usually towards the end, mention the website.
And when you're posting it on whatever platform you choose, so let's say we use Facebook. See, I messed up. So Facebook, when you do the post, we also put our link to our website there because when somebody's watching the video, they don't want to have to go in and type in www.peninsulafamilies.com. They're just going to click that link on top of our video. So make sure you put that in there too when you're posting your videos.
Yeah, so you can go to our Facebook business page too. Since we've been doing this for several months, there's tons of examples to look at. Yeah. Feel free to like our page while you're there too.
Yeah.
So,
or share the videos.
Yeah, I know we do have some of you from our sister locations who have already. So thank you to all of you who have supported us, and we support you too.
Yes. So utilize iMovie or other platforms to add text to your videos. As you saw in our first videos, we didn't have any text or anything at the bottom. And then Susan's last video had that nice little banner at the bottom. If you go onto our Facebook page, you'll see some of our therapists have a little more fancy. Some of the graphics are a little bit neat. It doesn't have to be that elaborate, but it is nice if you just have at least your name and maybe the website link or what your theme is. So for Mindful Mondays or Thankful Thursdays, we'll put that on there. One of our therapists had actually done kind of a text of what she was speaking because she was getting feedback that people were watching it while at their office and they couldn't listen to the sound but wanted to know what she was talking about. So she adds text and everything, but that's a lot of work. And it's not necessary. So if that's something you want to do, it's certainly acceptable, but don't feel like that's necessary to do.
Yeah, we've pretty much given our therapists creative license to do it the way they feel comfortable doing it, because we don't want it to feel like a chore or, another task to check off. We want it to be fun because it shows in the video when they're having fun with it. Right. So videos don't have to be you just talking. So you can use props or puppies. You can role play, as you saw with Sue's video where she was using the puppets to kind of demonstrate what she would actually do, and utilize nature around you. So we've done a lot of videos from inside our office, but we've also done a lot of videos where we're out in nature, we're at a park, we're at the beach. For those of us who are lucky enough to live in a location where there's a beach and ocean, that's a very nice, peaceful setting for all of your videos.
Well, and there was a video, we should have actually put it on here, the one with just the ocean view that you had posted. It was Susan's Mindful Monday video, and I don't even think you were on the video at all. It was just, she had recorded a video of the ocean, and it had a couple little things pop up in there, which was pretty neat. So I encourage you to go to our Facebook page and find it and see if you can see what she was talking about. But so you can do that too. It doesn't necessarily have to be you talking or your video at all. It can be recording something else as well that goes into whatever topic you're talking about.
Absolutely. And you can do videos like that with a quote that matches what your theme is for that week. So again, it doesn't have to be you in it. It can be pictures that you just want to share.
So, and have fun with it. These shouldn't be so daunting that you don't want to do it. I know in the beginning it can be a little, nerve-wracking to look at yourself on the camera. Again, you're your biggest critic. And as Susan mentioned before, I think, watching back our first videos, I was still uncomfortable a little bit. But we definitely feel much more comfortable with it now. The more you do it, the easier it gets. But, be true to who you are and have fun with it. Let your personality show through. That way, if potential clients are seeing it and they come in, they know exactly who they're getting. They know what to expect. You don't have to be somebody you're not. So make this your own. Make it unique.
Absolutely. I think the number one tip would be just to be authentic.
Yeah.
And have fun.
Yeah.
So 2. All right. Posting tips. So what you want to pick one platform to start with. So some ideas on here: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn are all different sites where people do video marketing. We chose Facebook mainly because it was the one we were all very familiar with. And also in looking into the research, it's the one that's most widely used and has the most marketing research to back it. So we knew that would be a good one to start with.
So take a workshop specific to marketing on your platform you choose. So if you're not familiar, or if this is really foreign to you using social media, find a workshop in your area. Hopefully this one has been helpful. Most of them make it fairly easy to set up. And the nice thing about Facebook, it's free.
Mhm.
You can pay to boost post and advertise and things like that, but most of these are free. You can just put a video out there and share it. So if you're unfamiliar with it, try to get familiar with it so you're comfortable.
All right. So again, just another reminder, make sure you're always adding a link to your website. So we mention it verbally in our videos. Some of us will put it on the actual, like on a header or a footer on the actual video. And then we also mention it in the wording portion of the Facebook post. And if you click on it, it directly links to our website.
And share the video. So if you're posting on your clinic's Facebook page, so we post to Peninsula Center for Children and Families Facebook page, and then all of our therapists go in and share it to our own pages. Have your friends, family, colleagues share it. So the more shares, the more exposure you get. I'll also say, when I'm looking at Facebook and I see videos and I've seen a lot of people have watched a video, it kind of makes me want to click on it a little bit more and find out what's happening. But if somebody has only had like two views, I kind of just scroll right past. So the more people who share it, the more traction you get on your video.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice with our centers because we're all group practices. So we have kind of that built-in network that we share each other's posts just to broaden the viewership.
So when someone likes your video, you can go in to Facebook and see where they've liked it, click on all the likes, and it gives you a list of people that have liked your post, and you can invite them from there, or you can see if they've already liked your page. So we did that in the very beginning as we were building traction, and we got about 300 followers pretty quickly.
We're still doing it, actually. So I continually go on there if I see a name that pop up. Julie and I are both administrators on our Facebook business page, so we both get the notifications if there's likes or things like that. So I try to go in there on a regular basis and just double check everyone's posts, and if there's new likes on there, I click on the likes and it just shows you if they've already been invited or not, or if they've already liked the page or not. And if they haven't been invited or liked the page, it gives you the option to invite. So it's super simple.
You can also invite all your family and friends, all your people that you know on Facebook to like the page in general.
So share info and learn from other professionals who already have a social media marketing presence. So like us, we have started this, so we're happy to share this information and the things that we have learned along the way. But if you have other colleagues or friends or professionals in your area that are local to you, ask them what they do. Ask them what works, what hasn't worked, any tips, ideas. The great thing about the therapy profession is it's a very giving and supportive community. So people like to help each other out. All right. So I'm going to go over the equipment to get you started. So of course you already know a camera or a camera phone. So you can use a video camera or a camera with a video function. We've all just been using our iPhones, and because it's such an easy to use. It's iPhones have gotten so great at having great quality videos and photos that no one really uses unless you're a professional photographer. No one really invests in having an actual camera just for a camera. No. The next thing is a lapel mic. So this is something that I got, and I noticed this really quickly because I did quite a few outdoor videos, and I like to do some sitting at the ocean, but the ocean waves were drowning out me talking. So you couldn't actually hear the information I was trying to portray. So I got this handy dandy little lapel mic, $9.99 at Amazon.com. I'll give them a little plug because I love them. They're super easy. But this thing works wonders. It just hooks onto your lapel. The other end plugs into your phone, so you can't be super far away from your phone, but it does give you a little distance. And you can still hear the background noise, but your voice is prominent and front and center in the video, so the background noise is just that, background. The next thing is a tripod with a remote. So there's a little picture on your slide, but this is a selfie stick with a tripod. So basically, I've used this everywhere I go. I set it up in my office. I set it up when I do videos out in nature. So it gets a little tricky sometimes. Some people like to use the little tripods that have the bendable legs. So if you're out in nature, it's a little bit more pliable. But, and again, Amazon.com, I think this was like $11. So you don't have to invest a lot of money. There's good quality equipment that's really inexpensive. And then lastly,
a computer for editing. So either a laptop, desktop, doesn't matter if it's a Mac or a PC, but you can edit through there. I've actually just been editing. I have an iPhone, so I've been doing the iMovie from my phone because it just makes it easy. But whatever's going to work for you. The whole point of this is to make it easy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, there's a little remote that goes with my tripod too. So it makes it super easy. So instead of like seeing your hand reach up to touch the stop button on your video, it's just sitting in your lap and you just press the button, it stops all on its own. So that's a little bit easier for visually as well.
So some ethical and legal questions that come up or we see, people ask a lot. So provide suicide hotline numbers when relevant.
You want some other considerations are you want to encourage and refer for further help and support. So these videos in no way, shape, or form replace actual therapy sessions. These are just a little snippet to get to know us, get to know how we practice, and a little bit about who we are. But you definitely want to make sure people are being referred and understand that, if you're having some serious mental health issues, you want to seek out therapy and go on a regular basis. These videos can't heal you.
Yeah. And cite references and sources when appropriate. When you're posting your video link, the references don't have to necessarily be in the video. Just like we had said, you put the website link as you're posting. You can put things in there as well. So it's right there. You can have stuff on your website as well. So that way you can direct them to the website. It just makes it a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Some ways that I've done that in some of my videos too, if I want to recommend a specific book that's relevant, I usually try to have the book and hold it up in the video. So, and say what the title is. And that way, it's a direct reference to that resource.
So, and when in doubt, you can always consult AAMFT, CAMFT for California, or any of the state MFT boards. You can also contact your licensing board for any information on more legal or ethical issues, such as what do you do if a client posts on one of your videos, which you should not be responding directly to a client. Most of the time people won't comment directly on the videos, but I know those do come up from time to time. So making sure that you're still adhering to client privacy.
Right. So, and that is something I know we do have clients that have liked our page. So it can just be something you talk about in session that, we appreciate your support of our business page. Just know that if you post anything on there or comment on any of the posts, we won't respond out of respect for your privacy and won't reveal that you are a client at our clinic for sure. All right, so future steps. So these are just some things that we're considering now that we've been doing the Facebook video marketing for several months. We're starting to think about branching out and expanding our efforts. So adding videos to our practice website. So sharing the videos onto there. Also, like we said, the presenter at the workshop we went to at the CAMPT conference earlier this year, who does the video marketing for therapists, we're considering having him come and do a video for our practice and for each of our therapists and put that on our website.
And they are beautiful videos.
They're amazing videos. It's his website is
Film It.
I think it's FYLMIT.com. So go check it out. He's amazing. And he travels all over the country.
He does.
If you guys like the work that he does, you know, we would highly recommend him for sure.
He has drones and cameras and
He's very,
you name it.
He kind of geeks out over it, but in a good way. So it's
awesome.
So once you've established a strong presence on one social media site, consider adding a second. So like right now, we've been kind of brainstorming on what our second site. I think we've kind of settled on Instagram being kind of like the second most popular and most viewed site. We have several therapists who specialize in working with adolescents and teens, and Instagram is just a much more followed site for that population for sure, and even into early 20s, late 20s, it's going to be a lot more used than Facebook, or people use both.
Yeah. And then you can always think about starting a YouTube channel to put your videos for storage for ongoing marketing. That way, you know, there's a whole list of videos and clients can just go back in there and easily see what you were doing. And live streaming. I think I've done a couple.
We've done a couple
on our site. Don't let that be intimidating. So for live streaming, typically the longer ones are better. I wouldn't do, you know, more than 10 minutes or anything like that. But you can go over about 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, and it kind of depends if you're using
what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're using the Facebook platform, they certainly have the Facebook Live, and you can set it up as an event so you can tell people ahead of time, and you can actually do like a little mini workshop or something like that, or
live interactions.
Live interactions. On Instagram, they have stuff called I think it's Instagram Stories, and it's basically 15 seconds. So it's super short. So it just varies from media site to media site. So you just have to know like what the parameters are and what you want to do. So that's something we're looking to for the future as well, as we've all kind of gotten more comfortable with our video presence. That seems to be kind of the next thing. So we got to practice here right now doing a live streaming video for this presentation.
Right. But do that only if you're comfortable with it. Don't feel like you have to be forced to do that. I know live streaming can be a little worrisome for most people because you can't go back and edit it. You can't do a retake. But again, they're really successful as well.
Yeah. So just some ideas for the future. So that's kind of where we're headed, and hope you guys found this informative. We really enjoyed being here and sharing it with you all. So please feel free to contact us directly through our website. So again, it's peninsulafamilies.com if we haven't said that enough already.
Or you can go to our Facebook page.
Yeah, go to our Facebook page, contact us through there if you have any, or I think most of you have our emails as well through the CCF linkage. So please feel free to email both or either one of us with any questions, or if you want to brainstorm, we're open to that too.
We're happy to help you out.
Have a great Friday and a good
Bye.
weekend, everybody.